you know, because you got a bit of money, you know, they criticizing you and all this and that, you know what I mean? Another guy say, yes, us smokers, we got to stick together, you know what I
mean? So this is now you're about 35. Between 30 and 35.
Yes, I'm like 32, you know, going on 30. I was 30, 31, 32. I wasn't yet 35.
In between. So about 32. And are you still taking coke and crack, or just crack when you started the crack?
Well, I still used to snort, but far less, you know, and
And so how long did this last?
Well, the whole process lasted till my early 50s, really.
The early 50s. So did it push you more towards crime?
At the end, the last 4 years.
The last 4 years. But so if we go back to the 32, when you were 32 taking it, and then again you also still opened a vegan restaurant during this period, right?
Yes, well, I wasn't taking coke or crack when I opened that restaurant.
So you stopped it for a little while?
I only started that habit after I sold the restaurant to someone.
Okay, remember I was asking you, so had you already had the restaurant yet?
Oh yes, I didn't have the restaurant when I started taking.
That's what I'm saying.
I'd already had it and parked it once. I'd sold it on. Yeah.
So you had the restaurant by the time you.
So really, I had the restaurant in my 20s, in my late 20s.
Late 20s, so about 27.
So about 27, that kind of age.
Okay, so let's go back a bit to when you was opening the restaurant. You had not too long ago come out. You was doing the ganja business. And you opened the vegan restaurant, yeah. Yeah. One of the first vegan restaurants.
Yes. In fact, absolutely.
So tell us about even just having, because veganism wasn't popular those days.
No, it was very unpopular. In fact, people used to attack and say, "Why are you refusing meat and all this good food I've prepared for you? What's the matter with you? You're insulting me." I said, "No, please, no, I don't just eat that sort of thing anymore."
Yeah,
and it's nothing personal.
And what pushed you to do that, to become vegan?
Well, it first started from when I read Numbers 6, chapter 6, Numbers 6, chapter 6, where it says about when a man dedicates his life to God, and no longer will he shave his face, he won't cut his hair, and he basically doesn't eat any fish. If he eats fish, it's the ones with scales, and he doesn't eat any kind of meat anymore, but he eats, certain types of meat he'll eat, or certain types of flesh he'll eat, and others he will not eat, like pork, for example. And I started off like that, and somehow I still felt like, I felt like I needed to go further. I wanted to be in harmony with everything, and I thought, well, if I stop eating all forms of flesh, then I'll be in harmony with all the animals. And if I stop, eating all the fishes, I'll be in harmony with the fishes. Stop eating the birds, I'll be in harmony with all the birds. So I just stopped everything. And if I stop eating honey, I'll be in harmony with the bees. So I stopped eating everything. I just had this urge, this desire to just be in harmony with creation, with the universe, with all life, and I looked at myself and says, would I like someone to eat me? No. Would I like someone to eat my children? No. I put it in reverse. There could be these giants going around love eating humans. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So as this man, then, but we're the ones now who's terrorizing the planet. We're the giants terrorizing, eating everything on sight. Anything that move you, I eat it. I heard the Japanese, or is it the Chinese, are really bad for that sort of thing.
Anything.
You know what I mean?
And anyone.
Yeah. My Lord have mercy. So, and I felt really in harmony. And I remember trying to give up. I said, no, I couldn't give up eating fish. But the way I ended up giving it up was quite simple. I had the raw fish. After I scaled it, I was going to scale it, or while scaling it, I held the fish, and my hands started shaking.
Wow.
And I said, what's this? It's funny. First I thought it was the fish had come alive. You know, I said, no, don't be silly, it's gutted and everything. And anyway, I cut it up and seasoned it up. When I ate it, it tasted raw. And I thought, wow, this is terrible. So I still went and bought more fish, did that again, and the same thing happened again. I double seasoned it that time, and it still tasted raw. I said, that's it, no more fish. And
yeah.
And that's how far I went.
And you still vegan to this day?
I am, yeah.
Yeah, okay, wow, amazing. So alright, so now we go back to when you started taking the cocaine, the crack.
Yeah.
So did the crack eventually take over the cocaine habit completely?
Eventually, yes, it took over completely.
Yeah. Was you still smoking ganja during this?
I smoked ganja to come down, you know, to sort of smooth the descent.
Yeah.
That's all it was good for now. I said, which I found, I said, imagine that. I love Sensimile so much, and now it's just become a little prop for this thing here. Yeah. You know, the holy herb.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And then from there, was it like, was you what do they say, operating addict?
Yes, I was a functioning addict. I was a functioning addict, you know. I still sold loads of ganja.
Yeah.
You know, and in fact I was selling cocaine too.
Yeah, it's okay. You know?
Yeah.
And did you go to jail in between that time? Was that your last sentence in Maidstone?
No, Maidstone isn't my last sentence. I returned to prison actually when I was actually living in Eleanor Road. That's right, that particular day I had to go to Red Bus Records off of Oxford Street, you know, to do a deal with them for some music I'd produced, you know, an album with various artists and myself included on that album. And it was a done deal already. All I had to do is show up and sign this record deal, and which my stepfather helped to set up actually. He was instrumental in that. And
so your mum remarried?
Yes, my mother remarried, yeah. And suddenly I got a phone call from my solicitor saying, oh, you've got to go to court today. I said, hold on a minute, I got an appointment at 2 o'clock, you know, at a record company. You know, please cancel it for another day. It's a bit late in the day now. Because I says, 2 o'clock? I says, about 1 o'clock now, something to 1. I says, how am I going to get ready and go all the way to Snaresbrook Crown Court for 2 o'clock? I says, this is a tall order. He says, no, we're going to get there today. We're going to go. I'll come and pick you up, don't worry. You know, and we'll drive there. So just be ready for us to pick you up, and we'll just about make it in time. I thought, my God, I was gutted. You know, because I was looking forward to doing that music business.
Of course.
And anyway, I thought, well, it's only going to be, I'm going to beat this case because they found less than a quarter gram of ganja on the street, so many yards away from where I was standing.
Yeah.
And it had gone all the way to the Crown Court. Yeah, Snaresbrook Crown Court. I says, no, I'm not guilty, I'm not guilty. And the lawyer, the barrister, he said, look, it's best you just plead guilty. It's only going to be a fine, you know, and all this and that, and blah, blah, blah. You can go home and all that. And so I just, I didn't want to plead guilty. But I said, okay, all right. Just made sure I carried enough money to pay the fine, and went up there. And now, from not guilty, it's become a guilty plea. Judge said, "Do you have anything to say?" I said, "Yes, Your Honor." I says, "Please show some leniency in this case." And he says, "There'll be no leniency here. You're going to jail for 18 months. I go, "Shit, what happened to the fine?" You know, and I mean, I felt I'd been set up, actually. Yeah, I felt I'd been set up. Even on the way to the Crown Court, I was looking at my barrister and his nephew, you know, because they were family, the two of them. You know, one's a solicitor and one's my barrister.
Wow.
And I said, they look like bloody funeral directors.
Yeah.
You know, see, you know, and I was sitting in the back. I said, mine said, "Tell him to stop the car and you get out the car and, you know what I mean, and leave them to it." And then another mind says, "Nah, you're only going to get a fine. What's the worst that could happen to you? You know what I mean? £500, you can pay that. £1,000, you can pay that. You know, worry about that. You know, just go and just, you know, if it comes to that, you know, you can't be going to jail for what? It's not even a quarter gram.
Yeah.
You know, they should be ashamed to have taken you this far.
This far, yeah.
But yeah, I got 18 months and down in the cells. The barrister says, "Oh, he's sorry, he's going to appeal and all this and that." Took the money out my pocket and I flung it all in his face.
Yeah.
And I told him, you know, just go and give it to my girlfriend upstairs, a baby mother at the time. I had another woman now who had some children for me, and I said, "Give her the money. I don't want any money. I'm going to jail." You know what I mean? So, you know, give her all the money. And
where did you go? What jail at that time?
Huh?
What jail did you go to that time?
I went to Wandsworth Prison.
Wandsworth,
And, that was considered to be the worst prison you could go to in London. A lot of criminals were afraid to go into Wandsworth Prison. Oh, it's strict, it's hard, and if you don't have your shirt buttoned up, you know, they just drag you down the block and all that sort of thing. Or if you look at an officer in a certain way, you know, you might get yourself duffed up, they all pile down on you, and so on and so forth. And a very, very, very strict place. But so that's where I ended up, in Wandsworth Prison. And the appeal, they never appealed out of time at all. We ran out of time to appeal. I had to get myself to employ a solicitor privately and to wrench my case from their hands in order to appeal, because these guys were just trying to keep me in prison for as long as possible, because they were bent. I didn't know that at the time, but I found out for another brother in the prison who was a relative of theirs. And he says he doesn't use them. He says they're bent. I said, "What?" And so they work for the police. It said to me, what they've done is that the police wanted you, you know. So that's why, you know, I ended up in the Crown Court for a bit of dust, you know what I mean, less than a quarter gram of weed. And they want you out the way because you don't work, you know, we don't work with the police, you know what I'm saying? And basically, they said, well, what they do is that they say to the solicitor, "Look, make sure that, you know, his case is, you know, just make sure that, you know, you lose this case, and we'll make sure that you get umpteen referrals from, you know, from the station." You know, when other guys need a solicitor, we'll send them to you. And funny enough, I remember the last time I was in his office, a sergeant from local police rang him up actually while I was there. And he said, "Oh, hello, Sergeant Sons." And then suddenly I think he realized that I'm in the room with him, you know. So
let me call you back.
He didn't go, sort of thing. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So now, we're gonna go. We'll finish at 40 if you want, but I want to get as much as I can out of you.
Okay.
On this episode, so
all right,
we can go purely into the different aspects of your workshop. You know what I mean? But it's good for them to know your history. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So okay. So now you've come out of Wandsworth. So how was that sentence before you talk about you coming out? What was that like?
Oh, that 18-month sentence. Well, I had to fight my way through that. I remained a vegan. I mean, they would talk about people get their locks being chopped off in there. Anyone who went in there got their locks chopped off. But by the grace of the Almighty, they didn't touch my locks. I was a vegan, and they said they want proof of that. So I had it arranged already for my girlfriend at the time to send in the proof that I'm a member of the Vegan Society.
Wow.
And I got my girlfriend to phone up the Home Office regularly, every week, demanding my diet. Because I have a right to my diet like anybody else, like the Muslims or, even if a Jew boy was in there or whatever with his... what do you call it? Well, it's halal for one, and it's and it's kosher for the other one, and all that. And I'm vegan, and so I lived on potato and carrots for about 3 months, going on 4 months, and I was taken to the prison doctor to have a checkout and all that sort of thing, and. Eventually, they just gave me some soya mince, really hard, tough mince. It wasn't cooked or anything. I just used to chew that with a bit of potato and the cabbage. And eventually, I was shipped out to the Isle of Sheppey, to a prison up there, Spring Hill. But I was put into the closed part. And there's an open part at the bottom of the hill, and the closed part was more at the top of the hill. And but I must say, even in Wandsworth prison, I was snorting cocaine in there. You know what I mean? Every day, and all that sort of thing. And I had plenty of hash to smoke as well. And so on and so forth. And used to share what I had with other brothers in there and so on.
Good life,
you know what I'm saying? And that carried on. No, I think I dropped the coke habit by the time I got to Spring Hill, and I just stuck to just smoking hashish or a bit of ganja, and that's it.
And then you come out now about what, 35?
When I came out of there. No, I wasn't 35 yet. No, I was...
34? Because you're 18 months from 32?
Well, actually, because when I came out of there, I was still living in Eleanor Road, and so I must have been about... I was only still about 31. 32 at the most, actually.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
And then from there, you come out, you had the same place? Was it waiting for you?
Yes, that place was there.
Yeah.
And, but I also had another place which I gave to a girlfriend, and so I was in between two places there. Nice. And that coke habit just continued. And, And
lifestyle? What was the lifestyle like at the time?
Well, the lifestyle was, I can go anywhere I want, do what I want, buy what I want. It was that kind of lifestyle.
Partying lifestyle?
Yeah.
Would you party in much?
Well, there was much partying because when you're smoking crack, you just, you just sit down and you ain't moving, all the parties going on in your head. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's only until after you're ready to retire, after maybe a couple of days or 2-3 days of smoking non-stop and all that sort of thing, you might start think about a girlfriend, someone, woman to sleep with or something, but Yeah, it took out, because I still love going nightclubs and all that every night. Suddenly I wasn't going out there.
So where do you feel like it, did you stop being a functional addict?
I stopped being a functional addict. I stopped being a functional addict when I basically moved to South London.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So when I moved to Wandsworth, and then from Wandsworth to Putney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what happened in that period?
Well, during that period there, I was, I'd say, well, I'd stopped, I was fighting with the crack, so I'd stopped smoking it for I don't know how many months, but I'd be drinking, pure alcohol from morning till night, pure alcohol, and that's what I was doing good, yeah. But then I'd relapse and go back on the old crack again, time and time again. And suddenly I found that I didn't have my taste for money had gone.
Yeah.
And all I wanted to do was just to be out of it, just be smoking crack every day. I didn't care much about anything else.
And then so you was by yourself living?
Yes, I became a recluse eventually.
Recluse.
In that flat there in Putney.
Putney.
And I'd go out every so often to get crack, and if I did, I might spend some time around someone's house.
Yeah.
And then go back to my house. But
yeah.
preferably, I'd rather be alone in my place and just smoke crack day and night.
And then where was it hitting the lows? Where did it hit like an all-time low?
Well, when the money disappeared completely, and I said, I know how to make money, all I need to do is just clean up for a couple of weeks, you know what I mean? And then we, put a little plan together, and by in a month or two, we'll at least have some six-figure sums of money, you know what I mean, coming in and all that. Yeah, but when it actually came to do it, I didn't have the strength. I couldn't do it. I couldn't stop smoking crack for an hour, or never mind a day. That's how bad it was. And I was drinking heavily with it. Now drinking became. They became, when I say I used to use the ganja for my descent. Now I found that the alcohol seemed to do a better job, what I mean? Yeah, and especially like the cognac and all that. I found it was very good for that. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to be encouraging anybody out there who's doing it to use cognac as any antidote to to keep your crack habit going.
Of course.
But
it makes it worse.
And if you notice today, people are smoking crack from out of these Martell bottles and so the Martell miniatures and all that, which I did as well. You knock out that on the bottom there's a little where the glass is a bit thinner. You knock that out, and then you stuff the top with some mesh, and you put your bit of crack on top of that, and you light the thing and just smoke it. So you have that in your pocket anywhere you went. All the days of all these flash paraphernalia, these, sophisticated coke pipes, were out the window, what I mean? We were just down to the ragamuffin style, what I mean? Real ghetto crack smoking style.
Don't even have to entice them anymore.
Smoking it ugly now, not pretty. Smoking it with the Bunsen burner and all that. Oh my gosh, man. Shit.
So it got quite bad. You're a recluse.
Yeah.
Smoking by yourself. The money finished. So what what was the next move?
Well, I wanted to buy the flat I was living in Putney, but I just didn't have the strength to do it either. Not even just to get the papers to start filling them up, not even making a phone call, couldn't even get around to doing that. You know, I was completely obsessed, you know, with crack. You know, it had taken over. You know, how did this happen? How? And so I was in this fight with it where I thought, well, I didn't want to give it up, you know. So I thought, well, if I can just handle this thing here so that I can just function and make money and, you know, go to work like everybody else does and all the rest of it. But that functionability of as a user of crack cocaine and alcohol, it just was no longer there. I couldn't function. Couldn't function anymore.
Where did that take you?
Well, you know, with the money gone and so on and so forth, I ended up doing things I said I'd never do. I went out shoplifting, you know, to get the money, you know, I need to get some crack quick. Well, I ain't begging nobody money. Or, you know, go in the supermarket, fill up the trolley with a load of champagne and, you know what I mean, I don't know, say, you know, 10, 15 bottles of champagne and just wheel it out. I said, God, please help me get you know, sometimes you got a bit more sophisticated and where they have some long coat on, you know, they have all these pockets on the inside and come out with, you know, 3, 4, even 5 bottles, you know, in different sections, you know what I mean?
Sell them to people.
And sell them to the dealer themselves, you know, and obviously I kept some for myself because I have to drink alcohol.
Yeah, of course.
And you know, and but then also it led me to I swore I'd never burgle someone's house because I'd been burgled twice and to devastating effect. Lost hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of goods. I says, I ain't doing that. I says, anyone who goes into someone's property and you catch them in there, they deserve to die. You have a right to kill them. This is the way I thought. And so I thought, for me to put myself in that situation means say I'm going to be prepared to kill someone for stealing their own things in their own house. And I am not doing it. And I ended up, you know, but I need some crack, man. It is 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and I see a window open. Oh God! I said, boy, I just slipped in there. And guess what? I'm going to the fridge to find alcohol to drink. you know, bottles of wine and all that. I said, hold on, we're supposed to be looking for money to get some crack. That's how smoking crack, it cracks you up. You know? It cracks your head up, it cracks up your relationships with yourself, with your higher power, with, you know, with society, with your family, you know, with your job, with everything becomes fragmented.
And throughout it all, you never touched the heroin, you said?
No. No. I mean, I tell a lie, there was once I'm not lying, but I didn't remember, put it that way. I had some heroin once. A brother owed me some money, and instead of paying me cash, he brought me like half a kilo of heroin. And I said, nah, I don't want to take it back. And I thought, then the mind said, nah, well, better hold on to that, you know, because he might not, you know, exactly, you know, he might never pay you, and then you got a problem here with that as well. And I thought, okay, all right, leave it. So I buried it in the garden, and I buried it in the garden. And I don't know how many months, 4, 5, 6 months went by. And I thought, what the hell am I doing this thing in the garden there and all this? And I better get my money, you know, because I didn't want to sell it. I didn't want to be known to be a heroin pusher. You know what I'm saying? For me, heroin was death. You know, I heard all the people who OD'd on it and all the rest of it. I said, man, it must be crazy to even take that stuff. You know, if you don't know what you're doing, you're a goner. And I was scared of needles, so needles was out. But, you know, I understand some people snorted the stuff as well. And and all the rest of it. So what happened was that quite simply, you could smoke it in spliffs. So actually, I just had a few spliffs of it. I smoked a couple spliffs of it. That was the closest I got to it, really.
You didn't like it?
I didn't snort it. I smoked it, and I didn't think much of it, really, to be honest with you. And I didn't really want to do it again. Although I put a whole heap in that spliff there, I want to put a gram or something in that spliff. But and I hated it. Stank.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It stank. And I think being put off of it, I don't think I could even get a bug off of it. You know what I mean? That's just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just hated the thing. It was the dirtiest thing I ever come across.
You never touched it again? Yeah.
But I managed to get rid of the heroin and got my money back.
Good. Yeah.
And in that process of doing so, actually, there was a brother. A brother came to me and said, that stuff there is so good, so and so overdosed on it and died. I said, my goodness me. I thought, look at that. Now I got this on my mind now. You know what I'm saying? But it quickly just goes to the back of your head, went to the back of my head anyway. But it's there, even though you think it's there.
No,
I mean,
course.
I've been instrumental, in some
sort of way.
Yeah, in some sort of way, or whether
take...
it's not intentional, but this has just happened as a result of being in possession of this deadly substance. Serious thing.
Serious.
Yeah.
So even from that now, so you're, where are we? Where you've got your place. You're taking. Okay, what? You've gone to Wandsworth. All right. Are we now we're about 35, 40. So what was happening around that period?
Well, to tell you the truth, I got married at the age of 33. I can't forget that.
Okay. Yes, please. Yeah.
Yeah, and I got married in a whirlwind after 6 weeks.
What do you mean by whirlwind?
Well, when they call a whirlwind romance is like, you meet today and you're married tomorrow.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was one of those things.
Yeah.
This woman here, where I was smoking crack all the time and snorting coke. Those days drinking lots of champagne and cognac. We hadn't gone to the stage yet where we descended to tenants, and so on, which we did do, but that's yet to come. And that woman there, I remember one day I said to her, well, would you like to change what about changing your name, I said. Because I could feel that she was depressed, and I was feeling a bit depressed myself, to be honest with you. Because I couldn't sleep, and and all that sort of thing. And I said, maybe we're both in a place where maybe you ought to change your name. And she said, you asking me to marry you? I says, well, hold on a minute. No, I don't think. I said, hold on a minute. I says, I've got a case hanging over me. I says, I've got to go to Oxford Crown Court.
Yeah.
On a smuggling charge, and I might not get off.
Yeah.
So what's the point? She said, oh, well, if you marry me, I guarantee you I'll stick by you. But if you don't marry me, then I can't guarantee that.
Yeah.
And on that word there, I married her. And I also married her on the understanding that she doesn't smoke crack, she doesn't snort cocaine, she doesn't drink alcohol. I said, we're onto a good thing here. I think that's the kind of company I need around me. So for all these reasons, I married her. And after 6 weeks, and it was simply a matter of didn't have much time to. It was in such a hurry that didn't have much time to invite many people or anything like that, and we bought the flowers on the way to the registry office. Got a mini cab, and he put on the white ribbon, the thing there. There was a brother there underneath the car there, doing some mechanical work. So draw him up from under the car to come and be best man. In that instant there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And picked up how many crates of champagne from the off license on the way to the registry office, as well as buying the flowers. You know what I mean? And then went in there, did the ceremony, and came back to the house where he kept the reception. It was a big lounge, man. I remember my friend saying, King Josiah, God bless his soul, is no longer with us. He said, man, you can play a sound system in it. Go keep dancing this lounge here. I said, yeah. So that's where we had the
was that your place?
The wedding reception. Yeah, it was our house.
Yeah.
And and at the reception, actually, I found my new bride crying in the kitchen, and I said, "What's the matter, darling? What's up? Is this joys of happiness? Tears of happiness?"
Yeah.
And she was crying for her ex-boyfriend, actually.
No.
Yes, indeed.
Was he there?
No, he wasn't there.
Just he
had abandoned her because she no longer had any money, and because she was a relatively rich woman. She had $250,000 in her bank account back in those days there. Man, you could buy a few houses with that cash.
But in their world, it's not.
You know what I mean? Yeah, and so he'd smoked out all her money, and on top of that, he'd got her in debt, because she went and, and she pawned all her diamonds and all that sort of thing, and blah, blah, blah. Even taking money out on the house where she lived with her children and so on, and she couldn't pay that. The house was up for repossession and all that sort of shit.
So how did you take that?
Well, there's me, I come to the rescue, midnight in the shining armor.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the money. All these bills coming in for roof repair, pay them all off. Police came to take her to jail for something she didn't pay. I paid that off. And I went through a 6-figure sum of money very, very quickly.
Wow,
with that woman there. And so on. The cupboard was bare. We filled it up. You know what I mean? And throwing our champagne in there as well in the fridge there. And all them things there. And
so what did you finish at that point? When she told you that she's thinking of crying over her ex-boyfriend, was it over or was it you?
Well, I felt like leaving instantly.
Yeah.
Instantly. I could see myself walking out the front door. And the mind said, "Now just cool down a bit. Give her a couple of months. You know what I mean? See how it goes. Let's not, embarrass the situation here. Let's not rush into this." So 2 months later, I think things are deteriorating even further. I was being criticized every day, the way I eat my food, the way I wear my clothes. My friends were all, wankers and all that kind of thing. I said, what's the matter with this woman? Suddenly she wants me to be an electrician and a plumber. I says, do you know me as these things?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I pay for a plumber, I pay for an electrician, I pay for this and that. You think because if someone get married suddenly they turn into all these different handyman business? I says, no. I says, and anyway, I just thought, something, this is really a big mistake.
Yeah.
So when she comes in, I'm going to tell her. As she came through the front door, I went to say, "Darling, I'm leaving." But before I could speak, she said, "I'm pregnant." She's pregnant, not me. And, and I thought, shit, I can't tell her nothing again. So I just hung around for as long as I could. The marriage never really got any better.
Yeah, she had the baby.
Yeah, and I was getting hostilities from her children as well,
Yeah.
Yeah, one of her daughters in particular. And then the son joined in, and then the youngest son joined in. So then I had all three children onto me, and so on. And I thought, what's wrong with these people? I come here, and I saved the house from repossession. You know what I mean? I helped the mama get back on her feet in her ways. I helped to do up the house and everything like that. We're talking about, a substantial amount of money here. And not only money, I said I put my emotions in it, my feelings in it. I felt it for you. You know what I mean? And I wanted to show you all that it's not all men, or it's not all black men. It's like that black man there who was with your mother before, who beat her and cut her with a knife and knocked her teeth out of her mouth and all that sort of thing. And fractured her skull as well over money. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not getting no appreciation. All I'm doing is getting criticized and getting attacked. I'm not saying I'm Mr. Good, but this is the truth that was happening here. And I found myself sandwiched. And the wife isn't saying nothing. No, don't talk to him like that. Because she's also criticizing me as well. And my friends. And so I said, my gosh, this is a nightmare. Yeah, so really and truly, I must say I tried to buy their love. I take the son out and say, buy whatever you want in the shop there, and I pay for it, and things like that, and blah, blah, blah. And I took interest in their education, whereas their mother didn't, I'd go up to the school and find out, what's happening, did the boy turn up today in school? Or, why haven't you reported it to us that, he's not coming in school and all the rest of it, and blah, 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 and so on and so forth. I remember the headmaster said, what do you want us to do, keep him on a ball and chain? And all that sort of thing, and so really and truly, I was devastated because I put a lot of love that I thought was love from my heart into there, and, and a commitment, and as well as money, it wasn't just about money, and this is what I got, no gratitude, no nothing, and it hurt me,
it would.
Especially knowing the history that they had from the previous boy. If anything, boy, they should be happy to have me around the house, but that was the situation, brother, and I guess I was in a sick household, and when you're sick, you like to attract more sickness into your life. You don't want to get better, do you? It's like the addict being attracted to another addict instead of being attracted to someone who's clean and sober. Happy.
There be people in the world. So you left her?
Yes, I left her eventually. I told her one day, I said, listen, lady, I'm going to leave you, but I won't be leaving you until the children know me as their father. And so when they got to 4.5, I said, you all know me as your father. I left. Just like that. And it was one of the most painful experiences I've ever had, actually, because it was done reluctantly, because I felt like I was a failure as a father, previously to two other mothers from before, and I thought, well, we've got to make it work with this one. But the things weren't just gelling together. The sand and cement wasn't, mixing, the bricks wasn't holding, and we couldn't get this house of love built. And
Did it make your addiction go up at the time?
Oh, well, of course, this is it. My addiction just rocketed, and depression came like a thief in the night. Don't know if it came from the left or the right. But in denial, I put up a fight with coke and alcohol abuse to make things right. My appetite for business and music was gone, and life became not a void and no more fun. And that's how it was, you know. Yeah.
See? If you want, we can end here and continue next week. You want to do
okay, brother, we'll do that. Yeah.
So we'll start from like 35 to 40, going onwards.
Yeah. All right then.
To the rehab. So yeah, I don't want to burn you out. I didn't even realize we've been talking for 3 hours.
What?
Yeah.
Lord
so
have
I didn't even
mercy.
realize. So I asked him to check the time, but I would have gladly gone on. But I want to make sure that I'll leave you some energy.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Yeah,
I think it's best. Yeah.
Okay, you can outro them for us. Tell them to subscribe. Follow you. Where can they follow you?
Well, you all can follow us on Instagram and Facebook. And where else?
What are they typing in to follow you?
Well, my God, I really don't know the names.
You ain't got Rehab to Life.
Well, you can contact us as well through From Rehab to Life Foundation.org.
Yes.
From Rehab to Life Foundation.org.
Okay.
Yes, and also there is also info at From Rehab to Life Foundation.org. Please contact us through those channels, and I look forward to hearing from you all.
Yes. Rehab to Life live workshop and podcast. Yeah, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.